Now welcome to part 2 of our quarterback quartet series. We're going to start this video off by breaking down Ohio State's quarterback, Braxton Miller.
Braxton Miller has gotten better each and every season while at Ohio State. His passing has gotten markedly better while he's always been an excellent runner, rushing for over 3,000 yards and 32 touchdowns in his career. And we'll start with his mobility, as it's an integral part to his game. What some don't understand about mobility is that it dictates how a defense defends you. Quarterbacks rarely see man or blitzes from the outside because of the running threat. In the running game, that backside defender must stay at home, otherwise it's a house call by the quarterback. Him staying at home allows another offensive lineman to get to the second level, which in turn helps the running back have success. And you'll see here versus Clemson a great example of what happens when you get out of position versus a guy with great mobility like Miller. Now this is off of a read option, so stop it right here. As you can see, there are 6 backside defenders, 5 of which are being occupied by a blocker, with the 6th guy being the alley field defender, which is the guy responsible for Braxton Miller. Now as we run it, he takes just enough of a false step or a poor angle that opens up a lane for Miller, and it's off to the races. And when you have a guy with that type of running ability at the quarterback position, it makes the game 11 on 11. And here versus Michigan is another great example. Urban Meyer with an excellent quarterback power that puts Miller one-on-one with that 11th guy, the free safety, who would normally, versus a drop back passer, wouldn't have to worry about this happening in the open field. And Miller just makes him miss. Once again, it's off to the races. And this is just great play design by Urban Meyer, putting your best athlete in position to be successful and utilizing as well as maximizing his talents, which ended up being a touchdown versus Michigan. And you can see here is 3rd and 4, and mobility also allows you to extend plays in the passing game as well. As you can see, as the pocket starts to collapse, Miller is able to evade pressure, keep his eyes downfield, and make a huge play in the passing game on 3rd down to move the chains. And that's called making something happen. And the likelihood of that happening without mobility, whether it be as a scrambler or as a guy that can extend the play with his legs, is slim to none. Now, where Braxton Miller has room for improvement in his game is with the touch on his passes. Right now, everything is a flat line fastball, and here's the great example of that versus Clemson. Right here, he makes a great read, and the tight end is probably going to score, but Miller puts too much steam on the football, and it ends up being dropped. Yes, the tight end should have made the catch, but Miller should have added a tad bit more air underneath it in order to make the play. Now later on in the game was another example. Again, a correct read, great read actually by Braxton Miller, and great recognition, but a poor throw. And this was another touchdown waiting to happen if the ball was thrown with a little bit more air underneath it. And this is, in my opinion, Braxton Miller's biggest area for improvement, because flatline passes that stop receivers in their tracks. They tend to be spot throws, and they're not as accurate. I will say this though, it's a technical issue in the lower body which can be improved. So I'll be looking to see if he makes these strides in that area this season. Now let's spin it back to the positive side. One of the things that's critically underrated about Miller's game, and what he doesn't get enough credit for, is his football IQ and how well he sees the field. Miller is a very decisive quarterback, and decisiveness comes with understanding what you see. And here versus Michigan is a great example. Let's freeze it right here. You have an overload to the right side of the field by Ohio State. The running back, tight end, 3 wide receivers are all set on one side, and at the snap of the ball, Michigan is in some sort of matchup zone. So let's freeze it again right here. Now you can see once Miller's back foot is planted, that football is coming out on time, and even though the deep safety at the top is still in his back pedal, Miller understands that he has leverage, and he leads the receiver perfectly for the touchdown. And here's another example off of play action. Pre-snap, Michigan is showing cover 2, but as we snap the football, let's freeze it. You see it's a Zorro coverage or zone rotation with the near side cornerback coming off the edge. Instantly, Miller recognizes the blitz, locates the void in the coverage, and gets the ball out of his hands immediately to the tight end running down the seam. And again, it's all about understanding coverages, knowing where the voids are, and delivering the football on time. And Miller did this consistently all last season. And right here is a basic cover 2 beater right off of play action with the tight end splitting the drop backer and the safety. Good read and another great throw by Braxton Miller. And you can get a better illustration from the end zone cam, as you can see off of play action, waiting for the tight end to clear, pass the backer in front of the safety, and drops a perfect pass to where the tight end doesn't have to break stride for a big game versus Michigan. So in conclusion, there's a lot to like about Braxton Miller's game, his mobility, his arm, his decisiveness, and field vision. If he's able to add more touch to his passes this year, which would also help him become a little bit more accurate, the sky's the limit for the 6'2", 215-pound senior. And stay tuned for part 3 of our quarterback quartet videos as we break down the game of Oregon's top quarterback, Marcus Mariota.